It's Take Two with Jerry and Debbie on EWTN Radio. Thanks for being with us. Jerry Usher with Debbie Georgiani and you. And we thank you for tuning in, and we hope that you'll choose to be a part of the conversation today. Hey, Debbie, how you guys doing?
We're doing well. Thanks so much for asking, Jerry. Those of you that maybe didn't tune in on Monday, my mother-in-law, Marty's mom, passed away on Monday. Her name is June. And I just wanted to say, I was saying before we got on the air, Jerry, we can totally, the whole entire Georgiani family can feel the spiritual support. I love the Take Two family. We are getting the most beautiful prayers for departed souls. And the Take Two family is just sharing their loves, their virtual hugs. I mean, Jerry, we feel like we're floating. This is a great family to belong to. I love the Take Two family. Thanks, you guys. You really, I mean, I tell you what, my husband feels so loved by you guys, and he doesn't even get to do the show every day. So see how wonderful the Take Two family is. And so, yeah, we're kind of floating, Jerry. It's exciting to have the spiritual support, I'll tell you.
Great. Well, we've got another topic we're going to put out there for you today and ask you to take it and run with it. Here's the phone number, 833-288-EWTN, 833-288-3986. And Debbie, today's conversation really touches upon something that we all have to deal with every single day of our lives. We've got to make decisions between criticizing or complimenting, right?
Yep, and that's what we titled it, to compliment or criticize. What do you do more of in your daily life? That's what we want to hear today. So if you feel like you tend to look at the things that go wrong first, we want to hear from you. How about those of you that look at you're always looking at the positive things. The glass is always, half full. You're just constantly thinking optimistically about things, and you tend to compliment or over compliment. How about you? We'd like to hear from you. Here's the number, 833-288-3986. It's 833-288-EWTN. And Jerry, my dad always used to say something nice before you say something critical.
Oh, really?
You know? Yeah, he used to say, you know how they tell you when you email, you sandwich in a criticism in between two compliments or something like that.
Right.
Have you heard that? So I don't know. Yeah. I think
your dad never said if you don't have something good to say, don't say anything at all. He would just say, get the good stuff out of the way first, right? Well, he was Italian, right? Got to get the dig in there.
Yeah, that's true. But, I think that's really important, though. I think it helps people. I mean, when you just start to tell people what's going wrong, don't you think all the defenses go up and things happen? And it doesn't really help to further the conversation and even the relationship. What do you think about that? I mean, there's constructive criticism, but then there's just general, critical statements that can really be very hurtful to people.
Right. Yeah, what's your thought on this, dear listeners? Do you find that you are you able to lead with a compliment, even if we've got maybe critical thoughts of somebody or a situation going through our minds? Are you able to kind of pause? Are you able to take that reflective moment and wait and just say, you know what, I want to say the right thing here? Throughout a lot of my life, I have been prone to just kind of leading with whatever came to mind first. Sometimes it was a criticism, and I've tried to work on that in my life. So I'm going to point the first finger at myself. But how do we do this? How do we make the world a better place by finding something to compliment in somebody or in a situation, and maybe biting our tongues, when we feel like we would rather just, unload with what we're thinking. 833-288-3986. And Debbie, there's a lot of other ways people can contribute to the program as well.
That's true. You can text us. You text the letters EWTN to 55000. Wait for a response, and then you put your first name in, your question, or your comment, and we'll be happy to put it into the discussion at just the right time. You can also email us, take two, the number 2 at EWTN.com. You can weigh in on YouTube, Facebook. Hi, you guys. Your chats are already going. You can weigh in there. And Jeff Burson, our social media expert, will just put it up on the screen for us so we can see what you guys are saying in the chat rooms. Any other ways, Jerry? Let me think. You could, a lot.
Did you mention email?
I did. Mention email. Any other ways? I think I've got all the platforms. How about Twitter? Can they do on Twitter?
Probably, yeah. I don't know how many of these that we we cover and are checking during the course of the program.
Okay.
Jeff is a busy man, but yeah, any way that you try and contribute to the program, we always try and work them in. Sometimes we can't get to all of them, but we know and we appreciate the fact that you're with us. And if you've got something to weigh in, by all means, let us hear from you.
Yep, we want to hear from you. We're talking about, do you tend to compliment more or criticize more? And we're gonna try to process this through together with some life exercises that we can learn from and grow from and walk away from this time together. Definitely challenging one another to be different as we finish this time we spend with one another here at Take Two, because it's important that we make those necessary changes to grow closer to God and also be Christ-like out there in the world. So it's an exciting show. Stay tuned in the entire hour and see if you learn something, see if you walk away a little bit different. Here's the number, 833-288-EWTN. That's 833-288-3986.
Yeah, and keep in mind, we do get a lot of calls, thanks to all of you. But we do the one thing that we don't like about the show is that we are limited by time, and so when we get to the end of the broadcast, we sometimes have people waiting on the line or social media comments that we just can't get to. So, if you think that there's something you'd like to add to the conversation, get in early here. And as Debbie always likes to remind you, when you call in, if you're waiting your turn, you're on hold, you can hear everything that's going on, so you don't miss anything. So if somebody says something that you would like to add a follow-up comment to or just tail on, you're able to do that. So you don't miss anything. 833-288-EWTN or 833-288-3986.
We're talking about if you compliment more or criticize more, or maybe you're on the receiving end of a lot of criticism and you'd like to talk about that and how that impacted you and how it really maybe hurt your soul. We would like to talk about that as well. Jerry, I forgot something I was supposed to say at the beginning of the show. A lot of folks are asking for a picture of my mother-in-law that just passed away on Monday. I actually posted it on Facebook, so you could always like me or friend me on Facebook, Debbie Georgiani. You'll see a picture of my mother-in-law. My husband looks just like her. I think it's, although different color hair, obviously. But it's so beautiful. I'll tell you, families are just wonderful. Okay, it's Take Two with Jerry and Debbie and you. Don't sit this out. Don't just take notes. We'll take notes for you. We want to hear from you. 833-288-3986.
We know you like listening to Take Two with Jerry and Debbie on EWTN Radio, but have you thought about bringing them to your next event? No matter what type of event you're hosting, parish mission, conference, or retreat, trust Jerry and Debbie to make it come alive. Begin the process today of taking your presentation to the next level of success. For information on booking Jerry and Debbie, visit take2show.com, click on the J&D logo.
60 on 10 with Monsignor Charles Pope.
The 10th commandment, you shall not desire anything that is your neighbor's. This commandment is similar to the 9th because it uses the word covet, which means to inordinately or inappropriately desire something. And therefore, related to this are concepts that are familiar to us, such as greed or avarice, which is the undue passion for riches and powers. And likewise, envy and jealousy are related here. Jealousy, you have something that I want, but I want it inappropriately or inordinately. Likewise, though, envy is a very dark thing because it wants to destroy that which is good in another because it makes me look bad by comparison. And so, in all these ways, the Lord is asking us to look very carefully to our desires because they can grow too expansive and lead us into very grave sins. The 10th commandment, you shall not desire anything that is your neighbor's.
EWTN. Live truth. Live Catholic.
So glad you're with us on Take Two with Jerry and Debbie. And the programming just comes 24 hours a day from EWTN Radio on most of these AM and FM affiliates and other outlets as well. In fact, preceding us by a few hours, actually, is Morning Glory. That's at 7 a.m. Eastern Time. And tomorrow, the hosts welcome author Austin Ruse, who discusses the story of Lucy McHale. She is the Rosa Parks of Rosa Parks Middle School. So don't miss Morning Glory if you're up that early, 7 a.m. Eastern Time, if you're on the West Coast. If you're an early riser like that, more power to you. It's a great program. And Austin Ruse joins the team tomorrow at 7 a.m. Eastern Time. Okay.
I'm sorry, I had my mic down. Sorry. I cannot believe it, Jerry. We have an open phone line. Can you believe it? I know. What are we going to do?
It's a scandal.
Let's see how quickly somebody can pick up that open phone line. Okay, go ahead. It's yours. If you feel prompting by the Spirit, now's the time. Here's the number. Grab your cell phone. Well, you don't have to grab your cell phone. It's in your hand. 833-288-3986. Okay, first up is Doug, and Doug is in Blooming Prairie, Minnesota on Sirius XM 130. It's our friend Doug. Hi, Doug. Welcome.
Hi, yeah. Good to talk to you again. Yeah, so the subject comes up, and what popped in my head was I just went to the movie Christopher Robin,
Right.
and I think it really applies to the subject here about complaining versus, being positive, complimentary. There's this Eeyore, he's always gloomy, he's always focusing on the negative, and as I was pondering my comment here, I came up with the idea positivity ad nauseum. If someone forgets the Eeyore, the necessity for Eeyore, we have to acknowledge someone's pain, someone's sorrow. We can't just come up to them and say, "Oh, God will make all things work for good," and this is God's will. And you've skipped the Eeyore part that we all have to go through the process with. And so I got this need to share with people that this movie gives us an awareness. We have to find this balance between acknowledging and also being the Winnie the Pooh, who's usually sunshines and lollipops. We need to balance the two out somehow.
Right, yeah. We say this on the show a lot, Doug. I think the one thing that people are just dying for more than anything in the world today is to be acknowledged, to be listened to be affirmed, to be complimented. And this isn't just, syrupy, saccharine, all this stuff. It's really recognizing, like you're saying, the dignity and worth of every person. And that quote that we mention on the show quite often, ancient quote, "Everyone you meet is engaged in a battle you know nothing about, so always be kind." So I think that's very, very important. And Debbie, it's really, I think, central to what we're talking about today. I mean, you mentioned constructive criticism, Debbie, and sometimes people need to hear difficult things and, things that will make them better and maybe help them change for the better, but always with an eye to who they are, created by God and who they're made to be.
Mm-hmm. I agree. But Doug, you're getting back to the Eeyore character of Winnie the Pooh, who is, I'm actually reading it right here, who's generally characterized as pessimistic, gloomy, depressed. It's interesting, Doug. I think I agree with you on the balance. The funny thing about it, though, is I have found in my 50 plus years, Doug, and tell me if you disagree with this, that we all know what has gone wrong. Okay, we all know that when something goes wrong, if you have any sense of intelligence at all, you realize the reality of the situation. Okay, unless you're really in a dark place and you can't see anything in front of you. But if you are just having life's troubles hit you, you know the problems, you know the faults, you even know your part in it. Don't you think, Doug, though, in this day and age, we're missing the part where people really want to give others a hand up and help them up and support them. Don't you think, Doug, we're missing that a little bit in this world? What do you think about that when you talk about this balance?
Yeah. Everybody needs to feel significant. I took some chaplaincy training once, and they said the three most foundational things for happiness is you got to feel significant, you got to feel safe, and you got to feel like you belong. I use the acronym SUB. I think of giving someone a sub sandwich, SBB. They got to feel or SSB. They got to feel significant, safe, and like they belong. And as we're talking here, I came up with this kind of seems like a hybrid of a criticism and a compliment. How you can see someone going through pain and you could kind of compliment them on how they're enduring it. I want to compliment. I mean, I understand this must be really difficult. I just want to compliment you for your strength of bearing this. And so, anyway, that's what comes to mind. And yeah, we all need that hand up, but somehow we have to include that understanding. Our struggle needs to be acknowledged. Also, there's
Right
a
on.
dignity in bearing that struggle as well.
Right. Right on, Doug. Great stuff. Way to get us started here on the phone calls today. Thank you so much, and always good to hear from you, Doug, who was with us at our Stand Tall retreat earlier this year. Thanks, Doug. Call again anytime to Take Two with Jerry and Debbie, talking about criticizing or complimenting. What do we lead with, and what's been your experience about how other people approach you with either compliments or criticism? Do they do it graciously in either case? We're going to talk to Janet next in Florida, listening on Sirius XM 130 to Take Two with Jerry and Debbie. Hi, Janet. Hello, Janet. Are you there? Yeah, hi there.
Yeah.
Go right ahead.
Yeah, I was just explaining. I recently came into the Catholic faith from the Pentecostal faith, and I am the only Catholic in my family. I married a cradle Catholic, and God certainly blessed me with a godly man, husband. But since we have gotten married, I have had family members that have actually been trying to destroy my marriage to him, claiming it's a fault. Also, prior to meeting my husband, I was in an abusive relationship for 20 years. So I have anger issues that I have to deal with. So I tend to be more critical of things and find myself angry at people that haven't even offended me at times. And I do pray every day. We go to mass regularly. I go to confession regularly, and but some of the actions that I have are very hurtful for my husband, and who I love very much. And I'm wondering if there's anything more that I could be doing to try to get some of these feelings, resolved inside, internally.
Well,
So that's my question.
yeah, Janet, first of all, I just wanted to say welcome home. That was a big leap. I think you said Pentecostal to being Catholic, and welcome home. I think that is beautiful. And you and your husband, share the Catholic faith, and I think that's a big foundation for you, and to have that for your marriage. Couple things. Jerry and I are not trained counselors or psychologists. However, we've lived a long life, and we do have some life skills training. So just from when I'm hearing you speak, I just wanted to say a couple things that just kind of jumped out at me. First of all, it might be wise for you to get some spiritual direction at your parish, you and your husband together, because you're kind of in a unique situation. You don't have that extended family support for your Catholicism, and that can be really hard on you. And the last thing I think you want to do is show that you're not being a good Catholic by responding back, anger for anger or hurt for hurt or whatever. And it can be tough. So I would suggest going to the parish and asking for some spiritual direction for you and your husband on how to navigate this. And then also maybe look into some professional assistance just to handle the how to deal with the anger issues, which, I can understand that. You're getting defensive. This is your marriage. This is your life. This is the path you've chose for your faith life. And it's being threatened. And I can understand that. And I can see you have that kind of, maybe fight or flight kind of feeling. But Janet, here's the thing. The way you're going to impact these people, because remember, you got to know where their come from is. They're in fear. they have lost one of their own. They don't understand Catholicism. They're ignorant about it because they probably have these different thoughts and feelings of what they read about Catholicism, and they don't really understand the sacramental life of being a Catholic and all of that goes with the fullness of the Catholic faith. The best thing you can be, Janet, is the poster child for Catholicism. And what I mean by that is live it out to the fullest with joy and enthusiasm and like a sponge for you and your husband, and absorb it all in and let it just flow out of you and let it just kind of rain on them when they least expect it. Because that's the way you're going to win any type of support from them. I don't think, the way it's engaging now, and we've heard this many times before, Jerry, you would agree with this. Janet's story, we've heard it a lot. Going back and forth, throwing scripture verses at each other, even referencing the catechism, it's not going to do much. I think you got to live it and just be that model of it. What do you think, Janet? Can you do that?
And yeah, I was just saying, now that the church is a great avenue for us, and I think that would be good for my husband and myself. We certainly have wonderful Monsignor and a father, very godly men, spiritual men. And this has just been such a good fit for me spiritually. I love the Catholic faith. And I'm not, something, God forbid, something happened to my husband, I will remain in the Catholic faith all my life. But as far as siblings, they haven't spoken to me in over 3 years. So it's just, I don't see any way to really try to force a relationship with them at this point. And with all the disturbances they've caused in our home life, I'm not sure that I want them causing more disturbances. So we just really need to focus on ourselves and like you said, live life with joy and enthusiasm. That I can start practicing, trying to practice that and try to become more like my husband and instead of my past and that. But I find myself in times still wrapped up in the past with things that I say and then I have to come back later and apologize. But words are still painful, and it's when it's undeserving on the other end, it really makes me feel very belittled almost. Like I just kind of let myself down that I did that. So anyway, but I am also I am in counseling for some of the anger issues, and so I do go counseling, but I had not contacted the parish, and I will do that.
Yeah, Janet, thanks for your call. I echo everything that Debbie said, and the only thing that I would add, you mentioned again that you kind of get a little bit stuck in the past. We all do that, and we often talk about the greatest gift that God gave us is free will, but keep in mind, we are created in His image and likeness, and that means not only that we have free will, but that we have intellect. Those are the things that make us most like God. Those are the things that mean when it says we're created in God's image and likeness, we have intellect and will, and sometimes I say, darn my brain, darn my memory, darn my mind, because I can just reel in those things from the past when, they're gone. They really are. They're gone. There's nothing that can be done about them. If we can make amends in some cases, that's fine. That's great. But otherwise, we need to let it go. Live today. Live right now. You're starting over. You've got a great new start, like you said, in the Catholic Church. And, every morning, the Bible says God's mercies are new every morning. And you can rewrite your entire life starting today, Janet. And we're going to pray for that for you. And we appreciate
Amen
the call
to that.
so very much.
Yep. Amen to that. Janet, please listen to those words that Jerry said and apply them and keep us posted. We'd love to journey with you. You can always email us at take2, the number 2 at EWTN.com. Love you, Janet. Thank you so much. Okay. Go ahead, Jerry. You want to read? I want you to read that email.
Well, yeah, we're going to get to Lisa and Skip, and we have a line open talking about criticism versus complimenting. 833-288-3986. And our friends Stan Tall, Carol, and Jim from Burlington, Wisconsin. Carol emailed, "Hi, Jerry and Debbie and team. If one attempts to make your life a prayer and be a peacemaker, it is important to be 1, honest, 2, discerning. Are you doing it for you or for them? 3, add to the truth of the moment. And number 4, think before speaking. Don't act because of control or pity. And maybe say a prayer for the person rather than speak. Best, fondly, Stan Tall, Carol, and Jim, listening on Sirius XM 130. Very nice.
Think before you speak. My dad used to say that too. I just realized my dad used to say a lot of very profound things.
We should think before we do everything.
That's true. That's true. This is Take Two with Jerry and Debbie, and more phone calls from you.
Bishop Robert Barron.
Just as Fulton Sheen used radio and TV in the last century, we need to continue to use Catholic radio to announce the Catholic faith in the public forum.
The leading Catholic voices are on EWTN Radio.
Hi, I'm Doug Keck, and this is an EWTN bookmark brief. I just finished talking with Father Joseph Roche, a friend of ours from the Marians of the Immaculate Conception, and the book is Fatima, A Pilgrimage with Mary, published by our friends at Marian Press. Tell us, Father Joe, give us an overview of what this book's about.
Well, it's a beautiful picture book, what we call a coffee table book, with some beautiful pictures of the shrine of Our Lady of Fatima, and it tells the story of the apparitions of Our Lady that took place 100 years ago. It tells us about the situation in the world today. And Our Lady is really in this book taking us on a pilgrimage, helping us to meet her son Jesus, helping us to recognize that the heart of the world is Jesus and the Eucharist, and that if we open our hearts to him, we can do our part to change the world.
The book is Fatima, A Pilgrimage with Mary by the Marian Press, available through the EWTN Religious Catalog. EWTNRC.com is a place you can find it. This has been a Bookmark Brief. Thanks for stopping by.
Here's today's quote from Mother Angelica's perpetual calendar. Be patient with me, Lord, and grant that someday my mind will have no thought that is not pleasing to you, and my heart possesses no love stronger than its love for you. Mother's spiral-bound perpetual calendar features an inspirational message for each day of the year. It's available from the EWTN Religious Catalog at EWTNRC.com. That's EWTNRC.com.
I'm Tom Price for Gloria Purvis. Tomorrow, Father Bjorn Lundberg joins us along with Austin Roos of CFAM. Join us for Morning Glory, 7 a.m. Eastern on EWTN Radio. Now back to Take Two with Jerry and Debbie.
This is Take Two with Jerry and Debbie, and you are just posting comments and sharing things about complimenting or criticizing. Shannon in YouTube. Hi, Shannon. You guys are having your YouTube and Facebook chats like crazy. I love it. I find sometimes complimenting can turn into flattery real quick, and that cannot be good, and criticizing can turn into harsh or rash judgment if we're not careful. Exactly, Shannon. It's that it kind of can lead into that, right? Constructive criticism can be really good and helpful, but if it gets kind of cutting, then it starts to hurt. It really hurts. Same with being too complimentary. It can be inflating your ego. Maybe it could be false compliments too. I mean, sometimes people exaggerate their compliments. That's very interesting, Shannon. I love the YouTube and Facebook chats. Sometimes I just go on there just to see what everybody's talking about, Jerry.
Well, that gets back to what Carol in Burlington, Wisconsin was saying, Debbie. Number 3 on her 4 points, just add to the truth of the moment. Add to the truth of the moment. And that is, Shannon makes a very good point, a couple of very good points. You know, we can be tempted when we're complimenting to want to, like she says, flatter people, and it could be our boss, a parent, somebody that we got to guard our motives, you know, maybe that we want something
guard your
from
motives.
somebody.
Yeah.
Guard our motives, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, the criticism, again, she said, can turn into harsh or rash judgment. It's got to be objective, and we got to guard our motives. So way to go, Shannon. Nice comments.
Yeah, but look at this, okay? Irene on Facebook says, I try to compliment someone, a stranger, by saying, I love your earrings or I love your blouse, etc. Sometimes people will say to me, "You made my day." That makes me feel like they made my day too. See, that's true. I mean, you can always find something good about somebody else. I do the same thing, Irene. I have to agree with you because you can always find something good about every situation, everything. When you really look at it, the negative things are kind of like neon lights at you. Those are so obvious, but you can really look for those really positive things, and you can focus on those, Jerry, and what you focus on tends to magnify, which is really an interesting concept. So, yeah. See how the Take Two family weighs in?
I was out shopping yesterday, and in the store, a lady had on each Lisa. Hang on, we're going to get to Lisa. But down the lower part of her calves, on the outside of each leg, down near the bottom, near her feet, she had a scripture passage tattooed on each leg. One was from Revelation, the other one was at the end of Matthew's Gospel. Go and make disciples of all nations. And I'm sitting there, kind of looking down. It just caught my attention. I'm trying to read it, and then all of a sudden I caught myself. I thought, wow, this is weird. I'm looking down at a lady's legs here in the grocery store. And she looked over at me, and of course, quickly she knew what I was doing, because I'm sure she gets that a lot. But I looked at them. I said, "What do those say? Can I?" And she turned to each side and let me read them. And I said, "You know what? Thank you for doing that." She goes, "Oh yeah." She goes, "Glory to God." And
Aww.
so yeah, it just takes a quick moment there, and she just lit up, and it just maybe it did make her day. Who knows? You never know what people are going through. So.
Most people go through a lot during the course of their day, and I think you can cheer them up and you can make their day. I think we should do it. I think we should take that opportunity. Wouldn't Christ do that? I think Christ wouldn't say, "Hey, you look horrible today, go back into the ditch." He would say, "Come on, what's going on with you? Let's move forward." Like you said, Jerry, new day, new mercy, new beginnings. Okay, join us in this conversation. There's plenty of time. 833-288 EWTN. That's 833-288-3986. Please don't hesitate if you feel that nudge in your spirit. That means the Holy Spirit's probably trying to tell you have something good to say. So please be open to it and jump on the line and be on the show, like Lisa did, driving through Tennessee, listening to Sirius XM 130. Hi, Lisa. Thank you so much for calling in.
Oh, thank you, Debbie and Jerry. I hope you can hear me okay. I'm on my Bluetooth.
Just fine.
Okay, awesome. The reason I called, because like you said, that the Holy Spirit put it on me to speak up. I just recently quit a job for many reasons, but prior to that job, I'd been in a position where I had a lot of experience, that I was the go-to person for everybody, and I moved into this other field. And every day I was criticized publicly. And there were people that would be in the room that would say, "That was uncalled for. I don't know why she spoke to you that way. You didn't do anything wrong." And I really every day would question, why did God put me there? And it took a long time for me to realize every morning if I prayed for them, I didn't know what struggle they were going through, but I knew what struggle they were putting me through. And in the end, praying for them every day taught me to not be focused on myself. I was so focused on, why are they doing this to me? I started to focus on them. Why are they feeling this way? And it taught me humility. It taught me to pray for everyone, no matter, we don't know what they're going through and why they're being reactive, and to look beyond that. And I truly feel like it did teach me humility, and it taught me to pray for everyone I run into. When I get mad in the car, I question why someone's cut me off, I say a quiet prayer for them. If I see somebody upset at a store, I say a quiet prayer for them, because we just don't know what everybody's going through every day. So I was very blessed to be allowed to leave that position. My husband said, you need to come home. We've got so much going on this summer. We're going to see our grandbabies. We're going to go on this trip. And he goes, you need to go ahead and quit this job. And I hated to leave because I thought, I really feel like Christ put me there for a reason. And now having left, I know that reason was to be more prayerful, to not be quick to judge, and to be humble, and more centered on
Lisa,
other people, and I'm not so centered on myself.
right, Lisa. Well, I have to ask you this question. First of all, I just want to say it's an incredible story and what you have learned from it. I have to ask you this out of curiosity. Did you ever go through any life skills trainings?
No, I have not. No.
Okay, because you just mastered a whole segment of life skills in what you just talked about. And that is that in life skills, they teach you that when things are coming at you and insults are coming towards you and you're being attacked either verbally or whatever, not to absorb it, not to take it in, because it's the other person's, it's where their come from is. They're either coming from, fear, or they're coming from ignorance, or they're coming from a place where they're feeling threatened or something of that nature. And it's really not about you. It's not about you. And so what you did, Lisa, is you took it off of you. You prayerfully focused on them, which is going to benefit them. They may not know it, but it is going to benefit them either here or in eternity. Okay. And you learned some great life lessons for yourself on how you can deflect it, how you can reframe it, how you can put it to good use instead of taking it in. Because look at it this way, Lisa. Most people in your situation, what you went through on a daily basis, would have absorbed it, gone home, and taken it out on their spouse or children or the dog or the cat. Okay? You didn't. You didn't. You grew from it. You learned, you helped them. And I believe in my heart of hearts that in your situation, the good Lord was smiling from ear to ear, because it was amazing how you handled it. I mean that. I'm not over complimenting you. I think that was brilliant. What do you think, Jerry?
No, I agree completely. I was going to make the same point. Precisely that, when people treat us rudely, badly, overly critical, unjustly, unfairly, whatever. We tend to just absorb that and think that, we're the problem, or, it just gets us off kilter, off center, steals our peace or whatever. And without being overly critical back to them, we have to just, like you said, Debbie, realize, they're going through something, maybe they're in a position, they're in a place right now, they've got anger, they've got issues, whatever. And just like, our previous caller, pray for them, pray for them that, and when I pray for people, who do things like that, I try and make it it's not a prayer of like, dear Lord, change their heart. Dear Lord, change this about them. I just say, dear Lord, whatever they need to know you better is my prayer for that person. And
beautiful.
Try and leave it at that.
Yeah.
My prayer was always, Lord, help to heal them.
Yeah,
I don't
right.
know why they're hurting. Can you please heal their hearts, Lord, and let me draw them closer to you? And I want to state that it wasn't like this sudden, like I woke up and started doing this. I did try to discern, why was I placed here? What is going on? And, you do get absorbed with yourself at first. And then I started praying on the way to work. I would say my rosary, and then I'd run out of time. I'd finish my rosary and still have time, and I'd start a Divine Mercy. And then I started saying everybody's name in prayer. And the more I did that, the stronger I felt, and the happier I was. And like I can't fix this for them, but I can pray for them.
Right. Beautiful. I'll tell you, Lisa, you reminded me so much of a class I was in one time where the teacher said, you have to adopt this idea that when things are coming at you and you just know they don't feel right, they're not right, they're mean, whatever. You've got to be able to say, it's not about me. It's what's going on with them. It's not about me. And because if you absorb it, then it becomes something that you're just obsessed about with yourself. And what you did, and by the grace of God, you had moved past that very quickly and then started focusing on them. And that's where I think the blessings flowed for them first. And I think ultimately they're going to flow for you. So I think it's beautiful. Lisa, way to go. You hit a home run with me. If we had a home run virtual award, you'd get it.
Oh, thank you so much. I thank God, and it's for His glory and the Holy Spirit helping me out. That's all on Him.
Well, thank you, Lisa. We appreciate your call and your listenership to Take Two with Jerry and Debbie. Please join us again anytime. And by the way, Debbie, virtual awards are virtual, so you can create one anytime.
Oh, that's right.
You can just create them out of thin air because they're only in thin air anyway. So, want to get to a quick comment on Facebook. We're going to get to Patty is going to be next driving through Ohio. But remember, you can comment on EWTN Catholic Radio Facebook page or on the YouTube channel if you're watching the live video stream. And Sherry said, I know I complain more when it comes to the goings-on in our parish. I want the best, all in capitals, B-E-S-T. I want the best for Jesus, and it takes so little to do things the right way. Just follow the church teachings. And there again, Debbie, is a perfect, God is lobbing Sherry a softball here, saying, Sherry, knock this out of the park by just simply starting to pray for, if there's anybody. Yeah, pray for change. Pray for God's will to be done. Pray for your parish to follow church teachings. Pray for your parish to give Jesus the best in every situation.
Exactly. There's so much power in prayer. We don't give it enough credit. So I just love it. So please, Sherry, take Jerry up on that. Sharon says, I always compliment people, no matter if they're a stranger or someone I know. We all criticize ourselves enough. I want to lift people up in any way I can. Sharon, I do the same thing. I agree. I think we're so hard on ourselves. We're our own worst enemies. We need more compliments in this world. I agree with that, Sharon. Thank you so much for that take on this topic. You have time to call in. There's still time. We have time to take a couple more calls at 833-288-EWTN. That's 833-288-3986. And Patty didn't wait, driving through Ohio, listening to The Rock. Hi, Patty. Welcome to Take Two.
Hi there.
Hi.
Hi, Patty.
Hi there. I was just listening to the stories, and Lisa touched my heart. But I'm a nurse, retired nurse, and I always felt like when I met that person for the very first time as I walked them back to the room, that if I could give them a good feeling about themselves, which was typically through a compliment, it was different ways of complimenting, but then they were able to open their heart to me with what was really maybe on their mind, maybe not even anything that could be, what do I want to say, dealt with in our office, but just a conversation that maybe healed them in a way that they otherwise wouldn't have gotten that day. So I truly believe that compliments just open the door for people to, as you stated, feel good about themselves. And then sometimes their true feelings or what really is in their heart, they're able to open up to you. So to me, it's the best way of meeting another person, no matter where I am or what I'm doing. And I just believe that God puts people in our paths for different reasons. So if we can communicate and start off in a good way, then we've done something right.
Right. Patty, thanks for your call, and thank you, as Debbie always says, thank you for serving as a nurse. You said you're retired now, but the good that you did in people's lives during your nursing career, and still, even to this day, God alone knows, and He will certainly bless you, and I pray that He has blessed you. In that kind of an environment, especially, I think people need to be respected and listened to, and complimented, and just affirmed, and just given an ear and a shoulder. And I think that's the case with everybody, though, because so many times we live in a jaded world, I'm afraid, and people are afraid to open up because they don't know how people are going to react and how people are going to take that. And once they see that you actually care about them, then they're gonna have that freedom to approach you. Debbie, I think you typed a note over to me. You used the word disarm. It disarms people, and it really opens up the avenues of conversation, of love, and really, I think, of God's grace to flow through a conversation, a relationship, any kind of a situation. What do you think, Debbie?
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. And I think, Patty, the way you approached people, I think is so beautiful and so Christ-like, because when people are going in for medical procedures, or they get a diagnosis or something of that nature, they're hunkered down and they're fighting, and they're in a war, and they get very absorbed in what's happening, and it becomes their fear starts. It starts rising. I know, because I've been there. And by you approaching them and allowing them to be open, to connect heart to heart, soul to soul, that's a beautiful thing. So I echo what Jerry said. Thank you for being a nurse, but thank you for being in ministry, because you used a ministerial approach to your nursing occupation, and I think that's wonderful, Patty. I just wanted to say, I wanted to ask you if you have any more comments on that, but that's what my takeaway is from your story.
Well, thank you. I too feel like I've been blessed in so many ways, and actually the doctor that I worked for would allow you to even pray with your patient. So it was so powerful to have that type of ability in an office that you don't often find today. And, I just, as I've retired, I realized that, God still has many ways of using me, and I just pray that he directs me to where I need to be next. But, I just feel so lucky and so blessed that I've been giving inside. And I often prayed that God would guide me through my day. And when I remembered to say that prayer, it was amazing when I look back on my day how he answered it. It was, more times than not that I would realize, wow, I really was here today. Mm-hmm. And, knowing that it came from God, not from me.
Right. But can I say something real quick, Patty? Because you just said something that I have to just zero in on, because when you said a prayer to God and then he used you that day and you were like, wow, you used me. Patty, we are all created to be used every single moment of every day that we are living on this earth. That's what we're here for. So you just opened to it. You prayed for it. God responded. We should all be doing that. We should all be open, saying, Lord, please use me today. Use me to further the kingdom. Use me to spread the good news. And that's what we're called to do. Patty, you did it so well. And I believe God is going to continue to use you until you take your last breath on this earth. Because you have displayed and you have shown that you can do it, and so he's going to continue to use you. I'm going to pray for that, Patty. You're going to have to keep us posted on this next leg of the journey of what you're going to be doing ministry wise, because you definitely are open to the Spirit. Anyway, that's what I'm taking away from it. So thank you, Patty. We appreciate it so very much.
Yeah, thanks, Patty, for the call. Good to have you on Take Two with Jerry and Debbie. And by the way, Catholic News Agency. I mean, let's face it, folks. We all know in the world of news gathering and reporting and dissemination today, it's a minefield out there. And even quite frankly, in my humble opinion, I think informed opinion, because I've been in media for almost 40 years, a lot of news outlets that we used to once depend upon as being reliable and truthful and honest and all of that, really there's a lot of other stuff mixed in there, agendas and opinions and ratings driven and financial driven and all of this stuff. So we got to get news from sources that are really going to uplift us, tell us the truth, even the hard-hitting truth sometimes. Catholic News Agency. It's a service of EWTN News, and it's the only fast, reliable, and free Catholic news source that brings, it's got blogs and stories and opinions and a whole lot more right to your fingertips. So visit CatholicNewsAgency.com, online, service from EWTN News. So there you go.
Okay, Jerry, Anna Maria said from Facebook, I complain about my parish as we have avocado green carpeting around the altar. It's gotta go. Jesus would want a different color, I'm sure of it, with a smiley face. Anna Maria, you crack me up. You are hilarious.
I know what color Jesus would want.
What color?
Not avocado green. He would want olive green.
Oh, olive green.
What do you think, Anna Maria?
Yeah.
Anna Maria may not like that one either, but
I love that though. No, olive green is actually real. Well, that's what we have at our parish. Real quickly, Jerry, I just wanted to can we say this about tomorrow's show?
Sure.
You titled it, Do you remember to pray for people?
How do you remember to pray for people?
Oh, how do you that's why I didn't pick I missed that one word. How do you remember to pray for people? So you're asking us about the methods when people ask us to pray for them. Do we stop and pray right there? Do we write it in a book? Do we remember them at Sunday Mass? Is that what you want us to start to ponder?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, do a quick, it just takes a second for you to think back in your life. How many times have people asked you to pray for them? How many people over the years, maybe over the decades, have asked you, hey, please pray for me? Okay, do you stop right there? Oftentimes we can stop right there and pray for them. But to continually remember to pray for them, it's just impossible. I mean, if you went into Eucharistic adoration, you would spend say you spend an hour, you'd spend the entire hour going, okay, Lord, pray for my wife, my husband, my son, my daughter, my doctor, my nurse, my teacher. In other words, what I like to do, well, I'm not going to tell what I like to do.
I know your method.
You know what I like to do.
I know.
Yeah,
okay, I'm not going to say it. Should I wait for tomorrow? Okay.
Yeah.
And I can share mine too. And then I'll also share what my pastor, my previous pastor used to do, which is just, I think, amazing. And I adopted that same method as well. Okay, so real quickly, Jerry, I'm getting some messages coming in. People are finding me on Facebook. It's Debbie Giorgiani, if you want to see the picture of my mother-in-law. And they asked me, how many children did she have? She had 7 children. My mother-in-law had 7 children. Marty is the 5th of the 7. So yes. And yes, a lot of people are saying my husband resembles his mother. It's really beautiful. And so nice comments are coming in. Thanks, you guys. It really makes our day. And my husband just loves the comments, actually. So it really makes his day as well. So I just want to say thanks again to the Take Two family. You guys are awesome. We love you so very, very much. We're going to send you all virtual hugs today. See, Jerry, I'm on a virtual kick.
Yeah, in fact, I'm surfing on over to your Facebook page right now because I don't think I've seen a picture of your mother-in-law. I've seen pictures of it and actually, of course, met your lovely mother, Connie. But yeah.
So you see my mother-in-law now, yeah.
Oh, there she is, yeah.
That's my June.
Sorry, everybody. We're
we're looking at Facebook. You see how we do this? This is a family. We do this together. But it's exciting, and you know what? We journey together, and we hope and pray that you are growing closer to God every time you listen to EWTN, because that's the mission of EWTN, is for all of us to get closer to God. And we pray that for you. And that's the beauty of it. And I was actually talking to our friend, Father John, yesterday, and he was just saying how much EWTN has enhanced his spiritual life and has helped him in his ministry. And it's so beautiful to watch the effects that EWTN is having on so many people. And, it's a great time to be Catholic, and it's a great time to definitely have television and radio that can support our faith life.
That's right. In fact, it's coming right around the corner, a pledge drive season in the fall. Keep in mind that your Catholic radio station, just like EWTN, is supported by you, the listeners. So please be generous. Whenever EWTN passes that speaking of virtual things, that virtual collection basket, give them a call, go online, make your donation, and to your local station as well. And Debbie and I always like to, of course, thank our show team. The show is produced by Rich Jesse. Matt Gabensky is the call screener, along with Michael, is it Birchfield? Forgive me.
Well, there's Michael Birchfield and Michael McCall.
Two
Michaels.
Both of them.
Yep.
And Jeff Burson on social media. And our affiliates, thank you all for carrying the program. And, of course, you, the Take Two family. It's been another great hour.
And so tomorrow's show is How Do You Remember to Pray for People? Please think about this tonight. That's your homework for tonight. And then tomorrow, show up for the show, okay? Maybe call in. How about that? You can always email us if you want to keep the conversation going. All you have to do is email take 2 at EWTN.com, and Jerry and I will respond. Sometimes both of us respond. You might get both of us responding to your emails. That's kind of fun. Until tomorrow, have a beautiful and blessed day. See you real soon.